I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis.
I'm Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Laxon.
I am Francisco Cerundolo, and you are listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Good. Well, I think it's now good afternoon. We've just hit afternoon here in the UK. It's now just gone past 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in Vienna, as we are here for the combination of a week's worth of really strong tennis by both these two players and a very strong tournament by both these players for the final of the Vienna Open, the Erezi Open, to give it its sponsorship name. As we can see at the moment, Daniil MEDVEDEV walking out onto court. Of course, the two players have sport one already, who are here playing today. You have the top seed and the world number 4, Daniil MEDVEDEV, who is playing a player that has hit a little bit more form recently in the last couple of months after what was a pretty terrible clay court and grass court season by his standards. He's playing the former top 10 player and currently ranks just inside the world's top 20, Denis SHAPOVALOV, the Canadian. Now, it's promising to be quite an interesting match is the best way to describe it. Both these players were of the same ATP next gen generation. I know the ATP and a couple of other people on Twitter have been posting around videos from 2017 when both players were walking around Milan trying to promote the tournament, and both played the inaugural ATP Next Gen Finals in of course what I said, Milan there, and again Milan will be hosting the event in a couple of weeks' time. Please make sure you can get your predictions in below. Will be absolutely fantastic. and we will see what you all think will happen in this match here. So, like I said, make sure that you put your predictions in below. I already see that we've got some people in the chat. Peter saying, anyway, we're MEDI fans. Okay, so Peter's coming out strong already for one of the two competitors. Tennis with an exclamation mark for the eye. Oh, hello. Don't think I've seen you before. Yep, I am James. I'm new to the commentating team. I hope you'll enjoy my commentating of this final here in Vienna. USA, hey James, how you doing? USA, who do you think Medi will win? To sort of spoil it, I kind of do think Medvedev will win. He is the at least talent-wise at the moment the better player. I would be surprised if Shapovalov with this match could get a set, but stranger things have happened. You got Peter thinking maybe two. Tennis, you think maybe Medvedev in 3 sets. You're maybe a little bit more pessimistic than I am. I'm going to go for Medvedev in straight sets here in the final. And we got USA Tracker saying Chapo fan. So we got Peter being the Medvedev fan, and we've got USA Trackers being the Shapovalov fan. Hopefully you'll stay civil and cordial in the comments below. Just to give everyone an idea of the head-to-head between these two players. So it is currently standing at Daniil Medvedev having 3 wins. Whilst Denis Shapovalov has 2. Denis Shapovalov's 2 wins did come in 2017 and 2018, where he beat Medvedev. First one in 2017 at the US Open in the round of 128, so the first round, and then in 2018 at Washington in the round of 32. However, since then, Medvedev has had the better of Shapovalov, beating him in Tokyo in 2018, so only really a couple of months after the Washington victory in straight sets. He beat him in the Laver Cup in 2021, and then quite recently, almost a couple of months ago, in the ATP Masters 1000 event in Cincinnati, he beat Denis Shapovalov quite closely. It was quite a close match, 7-5, 7-5. So again, make sure put your predictions in the comments below of how you feel this final will go on. This is going to be I think it will be a cracker. Denis Shapovalov is known for his theatrics when it comes to the shot selection that he goes for. He's had a very solid run here to the final in Vienna, beating the likes of having a really good victory against Taylor Fritz, the man who beat him in the semi-finals in Tokyo only really a couple of weeks ago. And then getting through Daniil Evans, who until that point had a 3-0 record against Shapovalov in the quarterfinals, seeing him off in straight sets, which of course Evo being Evo and basically complaining about the fact that he was one of the only players that hadn't had a go on the main centre court and have been playing on an ice skating rink in the rounds before. And of course, then also beating Bora Koric, a sort of rejuvenated Bora Koric, coming off the back of victories over Stefanos Tsitsipas, and there was another top player that Bora Koric beat on the path there. But so it's been it's been a good run for them. Well, Medvedev has really sort of sailed through a lot of his matches. He's managed to sort of eke out a good victory over Dominic Thiem. We covered that match here on GTL. And yeah, I mean, just Medvedev played incredibly solid tennis and allowed the mistakes to flow from Thiem's racket was the main takeaway from that match. Whilst also then seeing off Jannik Sinner in very impressive fashion, 6-4, 6-2, without really even breaking a sweat. And that's kind of been the theme of Medvedev's run this week. It's been business. It's been businesslike. It's been professional all the way through to get to this situation where he's hoping to pick up his 2nd title of the season. The only title he's got this season so far was the ATP 250 title that he picked up in Los Cabos, which is sort of the start of the North American hardcourt swing, beating Cam Norrie in straight sets to achieve that title, and quite famously picking it up and saying he's felt like he's won the World Cup because it was a massive ball that looked like a football. on top of the winners' trophy. But yeah, it's been a bit of a lackluster season for Medvedev. Usually he's picking up a Masters title somewhere along the way. Yes, there is one more Masters title left in the year, but a 500 title here would just start a good end to the season. And Medvedev's famed for having good runs to the end of the season, especially from the North American hardcourt swing onwards. Gary, you're in the chat saying, "Hey James, TCL family. I guess it would say this match is intriguing. Wondering if Dennis can do anything to trouble Daniil at all." Well, that will be that'd be the major question here. Will we see Daniil being able to actually do any sort of troubles to Medvedev? I don't think he will. I think he'll be flashy and we'll see some excellent shots from time to time, but Medvedev will just keep it solid at his side, and Denis Shapovalov will probably end up making too many mistakes to actually be able to have a major consistent troubling of the Russian, Russian here. Okay, so they're just about to serve, so I'll get up the scoreboard. Remember, make sure to hit the like button on this video if you haven't done so already, and you can share it or whatever. That'd be fantastic for this final, the last final of the 500s here. Okay, so just started. For the first point, Daniil Medvedev, first serve down the tee, quite straightforward. Shapovalov was unable to get much on it. I probably will end up shortening Shapovalov's name to Shapo just for this match. Medvedev tries to go out wide, ends up hitting the net. So first serve in, first serve not in on the first couple of points. Hi Peter, how you doing? Medvedev, cross court, forehand, backhand down the line. One-handed backhand by Shapo, a trademark of his game. Now having a bit of a backhand to forehand exchange between both players. Shapo switches to the forehand. Medvedev backhand cross court. Shapo goes for the drop shot. Medvedev reaches it and is able to do Shapo gets to it. Okay. Medvedev sort of in no man's land. Goes for the lob, and Shapovalov is able to run to the net and just backhand volley it over to the advertising boards. Hi Manos, how you doing? Good to see you joining the chat. And again, hey James, welcome Peter. It's good to see so many of you in the chat. Make sure that, I know we just started the match, but you can put your predictions. Who do you think is going to win? As I said at the top of the show, I think this will be Medvedev in 2. But I'm interested to hear what everyone else thinks. I know we've heard Medvedev in 3. Some people hoping that Shapo could do some damage here and maybe be able to get a little bit into Medvedev's head, or at least Medvedev's games. So we just had a bit of onto the third point, onto the second serve. Backhand to backhand exchange taking place between both players. Forehand to Medvedev, backhand by Shapo, forehand again. Bit of a cross-court exchange here, backhand to forehand. Nothing much happening. Shapo's gone up the line. Medvedev's now changing sides. Down the line by Medvedev. Cross-court by Shapo. Down the line by Medvedev. Oh, Shapo goes for the backhand drop shot, and it doesn't have much power on it, and just nettles itself into the net. Marinerist just saying that Shapo has a final curse, and I still hope that he can win this. I think a stat in which I saw somebody on Twitter likes to update it every time Shapo ends up losing a tournament, but he's like he's one tournament victory, or at least like one title in 180 attempts at the moment. I think we're sitting around about 180 attempts. Of course, his only title being the Stockholm one in 2019, because it wasn't played in 2020. So Medvedev goes for a forehand down the line, and it just sails long. So we're now sitting at 30-30 here in Vienna on the first service game. So Medvedev, actually panting a little bit here. Shapo's jumping around. So let's see what takes place here. It's gone quite tight actually at the beginning of Medvedev's first service game. I'm sure it's something he didn't want to see or envisage taking place. So great first serve by Medvedev. Has Shapo slightly on the back foot. We've got a bit of a backhand to backhand exchange now taking place. This has been equalised. Forehand by Shapo. Medvedev forehand. Now got a forehand exchange. Backhand by Shapo. Medvedev. Drop shot by Shapo again. Medvedev was able just to sail it past him. It was too long on that drop shot. Medvedev read it, was able to get to the net and just forehand down the line, and just to be able to hit a forehand down the line and pass Shapovalov, who's unable to reach it. And you can see a bit of frustration on his face. Brilliant to see that we're close to 50 people already in the stream. Hopefully, we'll be able to stay around, which would be fantastic. We've got a great first set by Medvedev. We've now got a bit of a backhand-to-backhand exchange again. A bit of a common feature already at this match is backhand-to-backhand exchange. Oh, and Shapovalov, in an attempt to keep it deep, to try and cage it to Medvedev's feet, ends up hitting it beyond the baseline. So Medvedev, after going to 30-30 or 30-all in this service game, was able to win it in the end and have a strong hold as they both go to the benches to do their usual change around. So it's gonna. So this isn't, of course, the only final to take place today. Of course, starting in around about 45 or 46 minutes, 45 minutes time, will be the final in Basel between the informed hardcourt player, as you could probably call him at the moment, coming off the back of 2 victories in Felix Auger-Aliassime, who, of course, convincingly put away Carlos Alcaraz yesterday, is taking on the Danish youngster and sort of Danish on form fire youngster, sort of inspired by the fact that he now has Patrick Mouratoglou in his coaching team, Holger Rune. Both of those two are competing for the 500 title there. So these are the last 2 500 titles of the year. As we go first service point, Chapo is able to go for a bit of a drop shot. Medvedev reaches it. A little bit of a squash shot there. A little bit badminton-esque, with both of them being at the court, both of them being at the net, and just effectively ping-ponging it to each other as they were trying to sort of have control. Medvedev didn't even know when he actually got hold of one ball that he actually did get it, because he was looking completely the other way. So let's see what takes place here. Chapo is looking for a good start. He'll need to if he wants to stick around Medvedev. So goes for the shot out wide, and it just hits wide. Gary's saying, help us out by hitting the like button, everyone. James is our new highly competent and knowledgeable commentator. Well, I hope I can be seen as competent and knowledgeable. It's certainly an aim on this as we're coming to the end of the season. It's a bit of a shame, really. I think I put a tweet out the other day, shamelessly plugging the fact that if you want to follow me on Twitter, my app thing is on the under my sort of face here. And yes, by the way, I'm wearing a Man United shirt in anticipation of the match later on. Please do give me a follow on there. Whilst also following the GTL pages on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitch, all of them. Make sure that you got yourself a follow on those, follow or a subscribe on those elements. So sitting at 15-15, and Chapo again trying to push Medvedev back, has ended up hitting it beyond the baseline. So Medvedev has already got a bit of a half chance here on the Shapovalov service game. It's currently sitting at 30-15. I'll explain why I was linking my Twitter in just a bit once this service game's over. So good serve by Chapo, but it just clips. But it just goes wide. So he's got a second serve here. Out wide by Chapo. Good return by Medvedev. Forehand down the line by Chapo, and Medvedev is unable to get it over the net as he's scrambling for it. So we're now sitting at 30-30. But please make sure that you hit the like button here, as we've got two players that are showing a good bit of form as we're coming to the end of the season. I know that Medvedev will want to avenge the fact that he wasn't able to defend his Paris Masters title, as he will go there in a couple of days after this tournament. So Shapovalov ends up hitting the net on a serve that it tends to go out wide. As we then move a little bit forward, Chapo's just getting himself set. Medvedev able to get a good return on it, just hits the baseline. Both players are well behind the baseline. Chapo's conducting at the moment, but Medvedev is getting the balls back. Chapo across court. Medvedev goes for the cross court as well. Drop shot by Chapo. Oh my days. And then you had an excellent Medvedev ran to the net, got to the ball, and then backhand it completely cross court, completely away from Shapovalov. And at the moment, Medvedev has a break point already in the first service game. First service game of Shapovalov serves. Medvedev has a break point. Let's see what takes place. I'm just trying to see, do we have a Chapo button? Yeah, we do. It's good to know, because we may end up actually having to click the Medvedev one thing, depending on this point. Good return by Medvedev. First serve by Shapo. Fast-paced action. Forehand by Shapovalov, going all over the shot. Down the line by Shapo. Medvedev reaches it, really getting to everything, showing his octopus energy. Backhand by Shapo has been pushed well up behind the baseline. Points being neutralized. Anyone could take control. Backhand by Shapo. Forehand by Medvedev. Big long loop. Oh, strong one. Strong backhand. Forehand by Medvedev. It's now, it's tight over the net. Very close. Backhand. Forehand there by Shapo. Backhand by Medvedev. Shapo's running a little bit forward and is able to hit it down the line with a forehand to get the point. So was able to neutralize the fact that we're back to deuce. Really good defensive display there by both players. And Shapovalov was able to find a way to get back onto the attack on his own service point. So let's see if he can build on this, being able to actually get to advantage on his own service game. Well, we won't know until after this point's taking place, or at least this service game's taking place. So Shapo goes for the serve, goes down the tee. Oh, okay. So Shapo ends up winning the point by Medvedev getting a return, it being incredibly high, and Shapovalov running into the center of the court and smashing it on away to the other side. Hopefully this gives a good indication. Shapo is doing his best at this stage, and it's a key thing at this stage is to stay on your own service games, to be the main aggressor. Don't let Medvedev in too much into your own service games, otherwise he'll run you around silly. Backhand by Medvedev. Forehand by Medvedev, really been pushed back. Shapo goes for the drop shot. Medvedev gets to it and is able to backhand it past Shapovalov at the net. Shapo's tried this now a couple of times. Shapo's now tried this a couple of times when it comes to the drop shots, and there's only been one success. The rest of the time, Medvedev has read it and is able to reach those drop shots. He needs to put Shapo wants to make sure those work. He needs to make sure he pushes those ones further than he is at the moment. Shapo, excellent first ace of the match for Shapovalov. He hits it out wide, just clips the edge of the line, and is now up to advantage on his own serve. So Shapo's up to advantage on his own serve. So this is already a bit of a tense. I say tense, or at least both service games have not exactly begun according to plan for both players. A bit of a back and forth in this match. Backhand by Medvedev. Shapo is able to run to the net again. So he's employing a tactic, a sort of a serve and volley tactic here, Shapovalov. Pushing Medvedev well out wide. Medvedev just getting a return back, and Shapovalov pulling it away at the net. I think we can all remember the last time that he played a pure serve and volleyer in Maxime Cressy at the Australian Open. This is This is about talking about Medvedev and him shouting how boring it was playing that style of game. So Medvedev goes for the service motion here, misses the first serve, gone to the second. Shapovalov, wow! So Medvedev very weak for the second serve. Shapovalov able to run onto it, backhand smash it or backhand drill it cross court. Able to backhand drill it cross court to get the point. So gets the first point on Medvedev serve. Forehand up the tee by Medvedev, backhand by both, backhand to backhand exchange. Just over by Medvedev. He's not exactly in control at this point. Shapo down the line, Medvedev up the line again. We've got a bit of a backhand now, forehand exchange. Okay. So Shapovalov, in an attempt again to keep it deep, goes too deep and goes beyond the baseline. Goes beyond the baseline with that service point. Something in which Shapovalov's going to have to make sure that he sorts out throughout this match. Hey, Peaches, how you doing? How am I? I'm pretty good. It's ridiculously mild at the moment in the UK, so it feels weird to walk outside. Bit of a weird thing to sort of mention the weather, but it's certainly a bizarre feeling. Okay, so we've got a bit of forehand by Medvedev, backhand by Shapo, backhand by Medvedev, and then on to the forehand of Shapo, forehand of Medvedev, bit of a cross court by both. Okay, so Shapo hits a excellent outside of the body forehand cross court, and Medvedev is unable to get any control on that return. Shapovalov is now sitting at 30-15 in this Medvedev service game. So Medvedev cross court, Shapo's just wailing up the line by Medvedev. Shapo's able to reach it, neutralizes the point. Oh my days! Medvedev ends up hitting it wide. Medvedev hits it wide. We're now sitting at 2 break points for Shapovalov. 2 break points for Shapovalov here. Good work by the Canadian, keeping in the points, neutralizing it where possible. What will Medvedev do? Oh, okay, so first serve just about misses the line. Medvedev goes the wrong way. Backhand by Shapo, up the line by Medvedev. Shapo cross court. Shapo's run forward. He just about gets to it. Medvedev reaches it, but it's a double bounce, which means that Shapovalov gets the first service break in the match. Yes, Medvedev gets the first service break of the match. So Shapovalov gets the first service break of the match, and because of that, will play his button. Do let me know what you think of this early development. Shapovalov getting the first break. A little bit unexpected, I would probably say, but he's showing that high level consistency that at least in the early stages, or at least that high level of play that he will need to employ to be able to get the to keep ahead of Medvedev here. We can see Shapovalov's team looking incredibly pleased about that. Good little drop shot by Medvedev by Shapovalov there to be able to get that break. He looks focused, drinking from his reusable water bottle, which is good to see. What we're saying in the chat, what do we all think to that, by the way? So we got come on Medi from Peaches. You did not expect that. I don't think anyone really expected Shapovalov to be the first one to get the break here. Remember, it's only 2-1. He now needs to consolidate, which is key. He now needs to make sure that he consolidates. Yeah, like I was saying, we've only got a limited number of tournaments left between now and the end of the season. We've got Paris Masters and the WTA Tour Finals next week. Following that, we've got the Billie Jean King Cup in Glasgow and the ATP Next Gen Finals the week after. And then after that, we've got the last tournament of the year before the Davis Cup, which is the main ATP World Tour Finals, which takes place in Turin. So Shapovalov going for the serve. Going for the serve here. Hits the net as he attempts to go out wide. Goes at the line. Medvedev's able to get a good return on it, but Shapo's in control of the point. Goes to the far. Medvedev goes for the lob. Shapovalov smashes it, but Medvedev's able to get onto it. Oh, yes. A fantastic defensive display by Medvedev. Just sticks in the points, reads where Shapo's going to smash it, and then is able to redirect the return across the body of Shapovalov, who's unable to get anything on the racket or anything substantial on the racket, and it sails wide. So 15 left to Medvedev. So a good start to this, and then an attempt to break back here by Medvedev. Down the line by Shapo, and it just sails wide by Medvedev. So we're now sitting at 15-15. Bit of a better service motion there by Shapovalov, just able to extend Medvedev out wide and force the mistake. So Shapovalov, cross court, hits the net. So we are at a let point. I believe it's also a second serve. It just sailed beyond the white line. Down the line by Shapo. Medvedev's able to get something on it. Shapo goes for the drop shot, and just as the drop shots have been failing at the start of the match, they have failed here again. It just nestles itself into the roof of the net. And as such, Medvedev has got a half chance here already on the Shapovalov serve. 30-15. MJ saying she's eating sushi. I'm eating sushi. So MJ, that's Harry Potter, like the Peter Parker person. Shapovalov runs to the net. Is on that service point. Bit of a serving volley taking place there, 30-30. And MJ, you're saying not eating sushi for breakfast. That's interesting. That's certainly a new a new breakfast choice. So you're also saying that Medi is like Novak. He can break back. Absolutely, he won't feel phased by the fact that he's a break point down or breakdown. Chapo cross court. Medvedev's able to get a good return onto it. And then Shapovalov gets to the net, and is able just to volley it safely over the net to be able to get the point there. Medvedev unable to reach that. So Shapovalov has a game point here to make it 3-1. So Shapovalov, let's make sure we've got the possibly with the button ready for the consolidation. If he does so, will he consolidate up the line? Medvedev's able to get something on it, but Chapo just forehands it on the inside of his body to make it 3-1. So Shapovalov makes it 3-1 here in Vienna. Really good start by the Canadian. Obviously looking to channel his inner Felix in terms of finals performances on the indoor hard. So Gary, you're saying, okay, maybe this match will be exciting after all. The two Canadians are always being projected to break into the elite player category, and in Chapo's case, he is overdue it for sure. Of course, this is quite possibly an opportunity here for Chapo to really show his mettle. Hasn't won anything above a 250 level, only won one title before in his career. A title here at 500 level could certainly be that springboard. It has been for a number of players. So Medvedev, easy first point 1-15 love, has now got a second serve on his on the second game point. Oh, double fault. First double fault of the match for Medvedev. Ends up hitting the net twice on that endeavor. MJ saying Whole Food has the sushi out early. And PG saying agreed, MJ is a good comeback kid. Win Medvedev, question mark by Georgia. Who knows? Medvedev, good shot out wide. Cross court. Chapo's just staying in the rally. Cross court by Medvedev again. Chapo with a forehand. Chapo's really in this point. Pushing Medvedev out wide. Up the line by Chapo. Doesn't run onto it, but Medvedev is left with an unforced error as he tries to go cross court with his forehand. Shapovalov is 30-15 up already on Medvedev's service point. Is he looking to get that second break, that double break here in the first set? This would certainly be a turn up with the books if that does take place. What is going to happen here? So Medvedev down the tee. Shapovalov, good backhand return in the point. Is competing with Medvedev, neutralizes it. So we currently got a backhand exchange by Medvedev, forehand by Chapo. Medvedev has got a forehand. Chapo runs onto it. Medvedev is able to get something onto it, pushing it long. Medvedev backhand by Chapo, forehand by Medvedev, cross-court exchange, deep by Chapo, still at the point works, and he forehands it beyond Medvedev. We've got two more break points here. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. Medvedev is now facing another two break points on his service on his serve here. If he loses this, he goes a double breakdown in the first set. Well, as we're saying, MJ, first game was great with the Phillips comeback. I only want to play YouTube, TV, many two sports for me to keep up with. My left foot, okay, something about left foot hurting. You hate that Phillips is a Mets fan. Who are you supporting from Sean? Medvedev down the tee is able to get his first ace of the match. So we're now just down to one break point. I'll probably leave you a lot to have that chat down there. I mean, this is really interesting that, Shapovalov has really started well, like unbelievably well. Okay, so strong one down by the tee by Medvedev, but just far too long. Got a second serve here. Will Chapo get the double break? Chapo backhand up to Medvedev, backhand exchange, forehand by Chapo, back, forehand by Medvedev, backhand by Chapo, backhand by Medvedev, backhand exchange taking place, forehand by Medi, backhand by Chapo again. Oh, and Medvedev backhands it long. We have another we have another break here in Vienna. 4-1 to... So MJ's asking, I'm not watching his Medvedev. Well, he has made a fair few unforced errors, some unexpected unforced errors, but the level that Shapovalov is playing, he is hitting the ball deep. He is hitting the ball in awkward areas. I would certainly say this is mainly down to the fact that Shapovalov is playing at an outstanding level of tennis at the moment, and Medvedev just doesn't have any answers. You see that Shapovalov is looking incredibly pleased with himself for this. I think a lot of us are in shock. I didn't think we had expected Shapovalov to read. You know, if you were to ask who was the world number 4 and who was the the world number 19, you would very much flip. You probably much flip it when it comes to these two players. Shapovalov's really taking the game to Medvedev, really making sure he has control of the points, control of the match. I mean, it's incredibly hard to break Medvedev. Strong first serve, octopus type energy, as his nickname goes, in terms of being able to get balls back. This is just bizarre. I just got a message from someone else saying that Medvedev doesn't look that well. He doesn't seem to be playing that at all that well. So what will happen here? So we've now got a situation. Let's just think about border force spy. No worries. You've got some comments in the chat saying Shapo raising his level. Medvedev needs to warm up or crash. Good point, Gary. You're a Giants fan, maybe your own heart. Well, I think predictions might have. Yeah, I think a lot of our predictions. I said Medvedev in 2. So unless we're about to see the comeback of the century, I'm not entirely sure that's going to come true. It probably will not come true. So Shapo with a serve down the tee. Medvedev's able to get something onto it, but Shapo comes to the net and is just poked it long. Oh no, sorry, just poked it beyond. How's the best way to describe it? Came to the net and then just basically flicked it pretty much to where the ball kids are at the net, or to the Vienna sign is the best way of describing it. So Shapovalov 15-love up, looking to get the second consolidation of this double break and to make it 5-1, which I never thought I'd be saying. So again, and a great serve by also no, it was just gone slightly long there. Just gone slightly long. Hi Ives, how you doing? Great that you joined the chat. As Medvedev's able to get a good return on that ball there. I think it was actually just reading the comment. I didn't actually probably see how that point played out, but I think it was a double fault there by Shapovalov, his first of the match. 15-15. 15-15 here. Cross court by Medvedev by Shapo just goes slightly long. So we've got a second serve here. Medvedev up the court, looking a bit stronger here, taking the initiative. Shapovalov, forehand exchange, backhand by Shapo, forehand by Medvedev as he runs forward. Shapo tries to go across court, and he's just able to reach it. Medvedev, and then is able just to get to a ball. Medvedev at the net, looking strong, looking stable. Is now 30-15. 30-15. Medvedev looks a lot stronger now at the moment. He's playing with a lot more aggression, looking to shorten the points. That's been something that Shapovalov's been able to win the longer points, which may be a tactic he'll have to employ if he wishes to get somewhere in this match. Shapo down the tee. Medvedev with a good return. Shapovalov is able just to forehand it on the other side of the court to make it 30-30. Shapovalov does not want to lose this double break that he has at the moment. He would want to consolidate, get to 5-1, and then the finish line is in sight for this first set. Shapovalov down the tee. Medvedev was able to get some ball onto it, but it was just long by Shapo. What is happening to Medvedev? Is Medvedev going to break back? He possibly could. He's playing a lot better. But we're 30-30. think Shapo may employ his serve and volley tactics if he's worried, if he gets too worried about Medvedev encroaching too much. As we have another double fault by Shapovalov. Medvedev has break back point. Medvedev has break back point here. Will he break back? Will he break back? Let's have it. So he's got to see. So I think Shapovalov will end up serving volleying the next point. Shapo, okay, hits the net and it just sails long. So onto a second serve. He was already running towards the net, which backed up my theory. Okay, Shapovalov cross court just gets it in. Medvedev's still able to get a return onto it. Shapovalov strikes down the net. Medvedev's able to get some return onto it. He's neutralized the point. Shapovalov goes across court and it's long. Medvedev has broken back. Medvedev has broken back. This set may not be over. This set certainly may not be over. Medvedev was able to get one of the two breaks back already. Shapovalov will be ruining the fact that he committed two double faults in that match. Pretty much, also in that service game, pretty much gifting it to Shapovalov. Gifting it to Medvedev. Medvedev goes for the serve, hits the net. Hits the net as he then goes collecting some other balls. So Shapovalov is already at 15-love, trying to get that double break back where possible. As we can see in a sort of NBL chat taking place in the chat. It's interesting to see. Medvedev goes long. Medvedev's in control of the point here. Shapovalov just backhand, forehand by Medvedev, backhand by Shapo, forehand by Medvedev, and it just sails long by Shapo. So we are now sitting at 15-all. We're now sitting at 15-all in this match. Gary's saying, I have no doubt that there will be momentum shift in this match, certainly. In case you're not aware, James, that's my biggest fascination with tennis, how players raise and lower they play with each match. I agree. From like a sports psychologist perspective, you usually see, these, sports players having this level and sticking at this level, but that level, as we talked about, can change from match to match. Medvedev, really good service point there, has now managed to get it to 40-15. Some quick points there by Medvedev, looking to get it to 3-4. So Medvedev goes for the serve and sails just slightly long. Peach is going, come on, Medi, let's go, man. Let's see if we can do it. Shapo, strong backhand down the line. Backhand again by Shapo, now up to 40-30. Anna Gomez is saying, what time is it? Well, I don't know whereabouts in the world you're based, but it's currently 1:42 in the UK, 2:42 in Vienna. Medi hits the net and it sails just wide, so he's got second serve here for Shapovalov to attack. Ooh, curve by Medvedev. Shapo's on the attack here. Drives it on the backhand. Medvedev's able to meet it though. Forehand to forehand. Backhand by Medvedev by Shapo. Backhand by Shapo again. Medvedev's left scrounging. Shapo goes down the other side of the court. Cross court. Forehand by Medvedev down the line. Shapo down the line. Shapo hits it cross court on the tightest of angles to hit it past Medvedev. We are now sitting at deuce. We are now sitting at deuce here. So what looked like it should have been an easy hold for Medvedev after getting one of the two breaks back, has now got slightly more complicated. Ives is saying that momentum shifts often happen in matches. They certainly do. There was a match yesterday on the Paris Masters qualifying, which was 6-love, 4-6, 6-love, which could really show how momentum can switch from one player to another. So 40-40, Medvedev up the line. Shapo's able to get some return onto it, but it sails long. Perfect response by Medvedev. We're at advantage on his serve. And I was bringing up the fact that one small deviation in the proceedings of the match can change absolutely. One dodgy call or one slight bit of luck, and anything can happen. And Medvedev hits another strong first serve up the tee, and Shapovalov can only sail it into the net. So we're sitting at 4-3 to Shapovalov here in the first set. So Medvedev has managed to get one of the breaks back and consolidated that break, that small break. I will just play that. And because we've got that, we will also play the Medvedev button. It's great to have so many of you in the chat, like I said, and also on watching the stream, because we've got over 100 people already, which is fantastic for the first set. Remember, make sure that you smash the like button so that we can see who, so we can get this up. I'd like to get it past 100 likes. I haven't done so already live on the last few streams we've been doing, but it'd be great to do it for one of the last 500 finals of the year. Remember, after this week, the next 500, or the ATP 500 event that will be taking place, will be in November, the middle of November. Sorry, the beginning of February. Scratch that. It'll be at the middle of February in Rotterdam, Netherlands. In the Rotterdam, Netherlands, that'll be the next 500 event, which Medvedev, funny enough, has already been announced to be playing that event when it takes place. But and I'm looking to go to Rotterdam myself as well for a couple of days, so that'll be a very good event. I really enjoyed watching that on the TV last year in an attempt to try and maximise the amount of European events I can try and go to. That is where I'll be heading off. So if any of you are going to go there, that'd be fantastic. It'd be great to see some of you at these live events as well. So Shapo is going for the service motion, looking to still hold on to that one break he's got. Hits the net and sails very long, almost to the kilometers per hour board. Down the tee, Medvedev's able to get a really good return. Shapo comes forward. Medvedev with a strong return back, really pushing Shapovalov behind the line. Shapo with a strong strong forehand. Got a forehand-to-forehand exchange. Backhand by Medvedev. Forehand by Shapo. Backhand by Medvedev. Backhand by Shapo. Forehand by Medvedev, trying to keep in the match. It's been run around a bit here. Shapo's got a little bit of the control of the point. Hits the net by Shapo, so Medvedev's able to run into it. Medvedev, cross court, it's a long point here. Forehand exchange here by both players. Shapo goes cross court. Medvedev's able to just about reach that. Shapo's running towards the net. And Medvedev just hits the net on the return. Shapo closes up both angles on that point. And forces Medvedev to hit the low percentage winner, which didn't take place. That's what we're saying. I was saying in the WTA, you can have a player win the first set 6-1 or 6-love, and then lose the second with the same score or whatever happens in that, and anything can happen in the third. It's an unfortunate case that breaks of serve are quite often and quite frequent in the WTA games. Of course, there's some big servers that are able to be a little bit stronger. But them's the breaks, as one of our former prime ministers used to did say. So Shapovalov, good serve out wide. Medvedev was unable to get any keep it on the island on the return, and Shapo is sitting at 30 love at the moment. So looking at it with a stronger start here to this service game than it was in the last. Shapo with the serve down the tee. Medvedev's able to get something onto it, but Shapovalov's able to run onto the ball and just forehand it across his body for the winner. So we're now sitting at 40 love. This could be, I think this will be the first time we could have a hold to a game to love. I'll just hover over the button just in case we get to that that elusive milestone. Shapo down the tee. Medvedev's able to get a good return onto it. Just hits the line. Medvedev's got some control of this point. Shapovalov is running around the place. He's able to get some return. Medvedev hits the net. So we get our first. Our first game to love there by Shapovalov. So we now sit at 5-3. So he is one game away from taking the first set here in Vienna. Looking around at his box. I think he'll be looking to try and get it done in the first on Medvedev's serve. See if he can actually achieve it. Down the tee by Medvedev. Shapo is unable to get anything much onto it, and it sails into the bottom part of the net. Sails into the bottom part of the net. So Medvedev going for the serve, looking to at least win this service point. Down the tee, Shapovalov is able to get something onto it. Cross court by Shapo, brilliant cross court. But Medvedev with that forehand down the line from the outside of the tram lines, able to get the point easily enough, and is now sitting at 30 all. Remember, make sure that you hit the like button. That would be fantastic. We want to get to 100 likes. Medvedev cross court, second or third ace of the match. Make it 40 up. We could get our next games up. These could be about some very quick service games by both Medvedev and Shapovalov. Medvedev down the tee. Oh, good forehand by Medvedev. Bit of a silly lob there by Medvedev. So Shapovalov. Oh no, Shapo runs to the net. What should have been an easy put away. He ends up still sticking long, and as such, will Shapovalov be able to see this set out? He just needs to hold his service game here to be able to achieve that. Whilst we anticipate this with suspense, just to let you know that in the Paris qualifying, Oscar Otte has beaten Zappa Morales. So these are the winners of these matches qualify for the main draw. So we've got Oscar Otte beating Zappa Morales. We've got Fitz, who's his young French wild card, who's ranked about 300 in the world, beat Fabio Fognini earlier on today. Big result. Marc-Andrea Hussler beat Laszlo Djur, and Quinton Hayes beat Thiago Monteiro. And as it currently stands, Talon Grigsport is serving for the match against Lorenzo Sonego, and Michael Yilmaz is one game all against Julia Leclerc. Just to give you a little bit of a update for the last tournament of the year, in terms of the last 1,000 tournament, last main tour tournament that any player can really enter before they end up looking towards things like the Davis Cup. And also in Basel, just on the doubles front, Dodic and Kravic beat Nicolas Mahut and Eduardo Roger Vasselin in straight sets to pick up the doubles title there in Basel. And the Austrian pairing in Vienna, this is like a good news story of Ilya and Myla beat Gonzalez and Montelli in straight sets at the Austrian pairing to pick up a home title, which they were ecstatic to do. So Shapovalov going for the serve, goes down the tee. Great start by Shapovalov. Gets an ace, gets a good going at the start. That's what he would want to see. So Shapo getting his service point. The motion's ready. Tries to go down the centre. It just hits the net on the way over. So Shapovalov goes for the serve, goes out wide. Medvedev is left going completely the other way. Shapovalov, and a poor backhand up the line by Medvedev, but the point beforehand that Shapovalov hit out, so we're at 15 all. We're at 15 all. Medvedev looking, of course, to get back into this set. It's now or never when it comes to wanting to win the first set. So Shapo tries to go down the middle of the body serve, but ends up hitting the net. I think he'll end up. We should see some more serve and volley from Shapo. I'm expecting it in this service game. Down the tee by Shapo, backhand by Medvedev, a strong backhand. Medvedev's already in control at this point. Backhand again. Shapovalov with a backhand. Forehand by Medvedev. Backhand by Shapo. Medvedev up the line. What a winner! He was beyond the tram lines and fires a forehand straight onto the line effectively on the Shapo side. 30-15 Medvedev. Will he get back? What we got in the chat? I have jumped off, guys. Enjoy the rest of the match. Come on, Medi. TC folks. Thanks for the stream, James. No worries, Peaches. If you could ever come back, that'd be brilliant. But have fun whatever you need to do now. So Shapovalov a little bit under pressure here with a first serve out wide. Medvedev gets a good return. Shapo goes down the line. Medvedev goes across court. Shapo's able to get something onto it, but Medvedev just tries to lob it across Shapo. Not enough height on it, and Shapo's able just to smash it away for the winner. Now sitting at 30-30. 30 all here. Remember, Medvedev wins this point. We're back to 5-5. If this set's then well open. But if Shapovalov wins this service game or holds his service game, he takes the first set 6-4. So Shapovalov going for the service motions as we speak. Set 45 minutes on the clock already. Down the tee, Medvedev was able to get some good return to it, but it was, I believe, long. Let's see if he grabs another ball. Yeah, it was long from Shapo, so we're at second serve already. So Shapovalov goes for the serve, down the tee. Medvedev gets a good, strong return onto it, but it flies long. It flies long. Shapovalov has one set point. He has a set point on his service game to take the first set. So we've got Scary saying, starting the State of Novice. It's a huge game for Shapo. It's absolutely massive. Don't like to see Medi out of sorts, says Peter. And this is pressure, James. I think if Medvedev wins his game, he will win the set. I agree. So Shapo hits the net. We've got a second serve here. Medvedev will be looking to get all over this, most likely. And I suspect Shapovalov will look to try and at least come forward. Good return by Medvedev. Shapo tries to hit down the line winner, and it goes, and it's the wrong side of the inner tram line. We're now at deuce. I think what Ives is saying about if Medvedev wins this game, he wins the set, I think will come true. I believe it is now or never for Shapovalov. Medvedev is playing a much higher standard of tennis than he was doing in the first 5 games. He's smiling, but he's probably raging inside when it comes to Shapovalov. But make sure you hit the like button for this really tight end of match thing. Or sorry, end of set play. I'm getting too caught up into this. So Shapovalov just going for the serve. Down the tee. Medvedev, good return. Shapo's got control of the point at the moment. Forehand by Shapo. Medvedev up the line. He's able to get a good bit of curve onto it. Oh, it's really deep by Medvedev. Not so deep by Shapo. Shapo goes for a forehand cross. Backhand cross. Forehand at the line. Back forehand. Forehand to forehand exchange at the baseline here. Shapo's really doing everything he can to try and get this point. And is able to with a forehand down the line winner on the backhand side to get the second set point. He really threw everything at that point there. This is unbelievably tight. So Shapo going through the usual sort of bouncing combination. Will he finish it off the point here? Goes across court, slightly long. Slightly long by Shapo. Medvedev up the line. Shapo. Oh, Shapo hits the frame of his racket. He goes for the return and it hits the bottom part of the frame of his racket and it flies wide into the crowd. We are back to deuce. We are back to deuce. We can tell that Medvedev is determined. He is determined not to lose his set. Ives is end up answering your own question. Or your own question. Shapo with a forehand up the line by Medvedev, and it goes long. It goes long by Medvedev. Shapo has a third set point. He has a third set point. Medvedev looks is absolutely dripping with sweat. Shapo's breathing is trying to control his breathing. Third set point. Let's see what he can do. Now line by Medvedev. Cross court by Shapo. Medvedev goes across the line. Shapo's able to come to the net, backhand volley it to the other side, and wins the first set. Denis Shapovalov has won the first set here. And in remarks, we will, of course, play his button. Once I find it. So, looking at the stats here for that set, we got Medvedev scoring less unforced errors, 6 to Shapovalov's 12. But there's a number of winners which really sort of strikes out both players. Medvedev only hitting 9 winners, 4 from the forehand, 3 from the backhand, and 2 service ones, which of course is 2 aces. Whereas Denis Shapovalov hit 21 winners, with 14 of them coming from his forehand. And again, looking at serve numbers, although Medvedev had a higher first serves in, and with both players having very high first serves won, Medvedev at 83%, Shapovalov having 95%. That is a huge number on your first serves. Effectively winning all your first serve points. Oh, that's absolutely telling stat. Medvedev on his second serve points won, only 9%. Only 9%, but Shapovalov not doing no better at 24%. So we can see that there are a lot of areas where both players could potentially play a lot better, or should be doing a lot better than they are at the moment. So, Gary, you're saying, as a Novak fan, I can easily say that Medvedev is the new backboard of men's tennis. He gets everything back. He certainly does. You think you won the point, and he gets 1, 2, maybe 3 more balls back. And it just forces the opponent to creates the possibility under a greater degree of percentages after every point saved of a mistake taking place. But Peter pointing out that he's not exactly the biggest wall today. Started to come back a bit in that second set. We could, as we gear up for this second set, just put your predictions in the comments below. Who do you believe will win or get the second set? Will Medvedev have a renaissance? Or Shapovalov look to finish it out in straights? Put your predictions in the comment below. What you think will happen as Medvedev hits a brilliant first serve out wide, and Shapovalov is only able to nestle it into the net. This is incredibly unexpected. I don't think anyone's thought that Shapovalov will get the first set here in Vienna. Outlined by Medvedev, Shapovalov gets the return onto it, but it's unfortunately slightly long by Medvedev, so we will have a second serve. Remember, both these players come from the first generation of ATP Next Geners. Both played in the initial 2017 tournament. As with that serve, Shapovalov hits it along of the baseline. Both have had somewhat, similar, but also somewhat completely different careers since those next gen finals in 2017. As Medvedev has a second serve, backhand by Shapo, backhand by Medvedev across court, and Shapo is only able to hit it into the net, as we go to 40 love already in this service game. We could be looking here at another game to love earlier on, as Medvedev hits the service box. Hits the net. Up the line by Medvedev, backhand by Shapo, very good backhand by Shapo, comes to the net and is able to backhand volley it to make it 40-15. So we won't get a game to love here in this first point of the second set. Medvedev's going through this normal sort of service motions. Up the line, unfortunately slightly wide there by Medvedev, or at least unfortunate for Medvedev fans. Body serve, Shapo connects his backhand racket onto it, but it just hits it long. So Daniil Medvedev wins his first service game in the second set. As Shapo starts to play with his racket. I know I said about predictions, I would say my prediction for this set will be Medvedev will probably end up winning this back. He was performing a lot better at the back end of the first set, and I think that will carry on over. I don't know if Shapovalov will be able to continue with as Gary mentions about about seeing how players form withers and wanes and peaks and troughs. I don't necessarily see Shapovalov being able to keep this level up, but I could be wrong. But that's my hunch at this stage. So Shapovalov going for the serve here. Medvedev able to get a good return onto it. Shapovalov fires it up the line. Backhand by Shapo up the other side of the court, and he volleys it into or close to the water drop logo to make it 15-love. Good forehand there by Shapovalov. Or at least a good volley by Shapovalov. So we are just about sitting here at 15-love for Shapovalov. Cross court, good strong one by Shapo, and then volleys it away. Another volley, pretty cookie cutter from the point before to make it 30-love. Shapo's clearly looking to ensure that no sort of beginning of second set blues take place by trying to win this first service game as easily as he possibly can. Shapo, so with that serve, he aims to go out wide, and he just hits the net on the way over. So Shapo with a serve up the court. We've got a bit of a baseline exchange here. Backhand to forehand by both players. Backhand by Shapo, forehand by Medvedev. Up the line by Shapo, just kisses the line. That was incredibly close. We got back to a normal exchange between backhands and forehands between both players. Medvedev goes for the drop shot. Shapovalov reaches it and just tries to push. Ooh. So Shapovalov, as he gets that ball, he does get to it on time, but he just, with his backhand, pushes it long, pushes it beyond the baseline. And as such gives Medvedev a point here in the opening. It gives him a point on the Shapovalov serve, looking to stick around. And Peter has changed his prediction from Medellin 2 to Denis upset. Big change, huge change. Shapo goes out wide. Medvedev's able to get a good return to it. Shapo then goes. It was a little bit of a fluke shot, to be honest. It was quite clear that he didn't intend to actually hit the ball on the baseline side up the line, but he ends up achieving that with a bit of a fluke there to get the point. So it's 40-15 to Denis Shapovalov. So Shapovalov goes to the serve, goes out wide. Medvedev's able to get some control over it, but it was, I think I missed a clip in that. No, it was a second serve. It just hit out wide. Peter says until further notice. Out wide there, we've got up the line, backhand to backhand exchange. Now a forehand exchange. Shapovalov changes to his forehand, but isn't able to get any power onto the shot. Flies into the net. Again, Shapo keen here not to get broken early at the beginning of the second set. Really keen for that not to take place. Up the line by Shapo. Good one by Shapo. He gets an ace to finish off this service game and to make it 1 game all. 1 game all. So he has not been broken at the start of the first, was what could be a possibility in these sorts of situations. And remember, if you can make sure you like this live broadcast, that would be fantastic. And share it with anyone who's not watching that should be watching. It would be excellent. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure that you subscribe. If you're new and you just stumbled across this video. Backhand exchange. Chapo really going from one side to the other. Great forehand by Chapo. Medvedev is flailing on that there. And Medvedev hits it long to give it 15-love to Denis Shapovalov. Chapo is not wasting around here. He wants to get this done. He wants to get this sorted. I'll say that in terms of we would quite like to win in straight sets. Medvedev down the line. Medvedev, it's unfortunately slightly long. Backhand by Medvedev, forehand by Chapo, backhand by Medvedev. Medvedev's looking to have control of the point, but Chapo is not going away. Up the line by Chapo, and did it miss? It just missed by the looks of it as we hit the hour mark in this match. It just missed the line. So Chapo went for a outside of the body forehand on the forehand side, and it just sails literally millimeters, pure millimeters from the actual from the inside tram line. So again, Medvedev being a conductor, but Chapo is looking to get back into controlling this point. Oh, weakens it a bit. Shapovalov there. He's just able to get it over. Chapo with a sliced forehand. Medvedev's able to get on his backhand. Oh, what a good forehand by Medvedev. Sorry, by Shapovalov. So Chapo was they were doing a backhand to backhand exchange at the forehand side of the pitch, of the court, and then Shapovalov, as Medvedev looks to cross-courts it back with the usual swerve that Chapo places onto the ball, and is able to get the point and leave Medvedev stranded. How was saying in the comments, so we've got about Peter's changing his mind, and then Gary's saying when they are on their games, FAA and Chapo have a beautiful game to watch. They certainly do. Again, Medvedev on his points looking to control and has that control throughout to make it 30-30. He is not looking to get broken early in the second set. Remember, it was around about this stage of the first set where Medvedev was broken. He will not want that to happen again. Down the line by Medvedev. Good return by Chapo. Deep, nice and long or deep. Backhand by Chapo. Medvedev goes for it. And Chapo comes to the net. A mixture of mistakes by both players. So Shapovalov should have gone down the line. Chose to go cross court. Medvedev was able to get his racket onto it. Effectively fired at him. But he ends up burying it into the net. So Shapovalov has a break point. Here at the beginning of the second set. You can tell that Medvedev is not happy for giving up that point. Will Shapovalov gets an early break here. Down the line, Chapo's able to get some return onto it. Medvedev sails it down the line. Chapo's able to get something onto it. Medvedev fires it wide. Oh, Chapo. So Medvedev was at the net, was able to control it. And Shapovalov was unable to get anything onto the next one. And it nestled into the net. I need to be able to describe this better. But it was Medvedev was at the net for two of those attacks and was able to basically force Shapovalov into an error there. So it fought juice here. Oh, okay. So Medvedev goes out wide. It stays in. Shapovalov goes to the backhand cross court, trying to catch the tight angle, the acute angle, and it just hits the net and doesn't go over. Manor is saying it's really a clean game from both players. Not many errors. Yes, they're very much it's forced errors that are the only ones that are taking place here that in a significant capacity. As Medvedev hits a brilliant cross-court forehand winner. To make it 2-1. So sorts out the fact that he was a break point down and is now a break up. Or is all not a break up. He's not a break up, James. He is 2-1 up here in Vienna. So he's only 2-1 up here in Vienna, which is good. Which is a good stronger start for the Monaco-based athlete. Of course, as I mentioned on the live stream against the team, is of course a new father. Very much kept that out of the equation when people don't think anyone really asked about his wife being pregnant, but yeah, he is a new father. I think it'd be kind of hoping that he can extend his stay here as long as possible. So his baby duties maybe a little bit less. But at the moment he may just be loving being around his little daughter. Gary agrees with Ives. I agree completely, but Chapo can occasionally dominate like FAA does. Felix is on the verge of the elite. If he can raise his game outdoors, certainly. If he can deal with those conditions, FAA could be unbelievably dangerous. Yes, he's proving it now indoors, which is fantastic, but that has to be proved on the outdoor scene. A reminder as well, Ben and JG should be doing a predictions video for the Paris Masters later on this evening. Do make sure that you tune into that later on if you are awake. Going over, who do they believe will end up progressing through the draws and to win the Paris Masters, the last Masters of the year. Down the line by Shapovalov, kisses the line along the way down there, and it's now 15 love. Chapo is getting himself sorted up here for this service point, looking to make it 2-all if possible. Cross court, Medvedev's able to get some return onto it, but it was just out by Chapo, so we're onto a second serve here. Oh, a double fault by Shapovalov, ends up hitting it long. He hits it long, so we're now at 15-15. Last time he had a double fault in his on a service point, he lost that serve. He lost that serve or that service game. Mannerist brings up a key part about Shapovalov's consistency. It's still not there. It's Shapovalov's consistency. He can be one of the best players in the world one day, and he can play absolutely terribly the next. Backhand at line by Chapo. Oh no, forehand mistake by Shapovalov. Fires it long. Medvedev it's 30-15. Two mistakes there by Shapovalov. Something Mannerist brings up really quite well. That we have a situation where Shapovalov just shows some frailty. The double fault and a unforced error long really opens up this service game to Daniil. So the first serve hits the net by Shapovalov. So we've got a second serve here. A real opening here for Medvedev. Medvedev, strong backhand. Oh, and another unforced error by Shapovalov. Forehand wide of the inside tram line. We now have 2 break points for Daniil Medvedev here at the early part of the second set. Gary's saying, I can't verbalize it, but I just think Medvedev is going to be be an absolutely amazing father. Does anyone agree with me? We've got dads or chats in the chats going on in the comments. Chapo runs to the net. Medvedev goes for the lob. Shapovalov is just so with that point there. Shapovalov ran to the net like a serving volley. Medvedev was able to get to the third ball return by Shapovalov, but on the return, he just tries to lob it, and it's not enough height on it, and it was an easy put away there by Shapovalov. So we're now sitting at 40-30. There's still another break point here. Still another break point. So Chapo tries to go down the tee, but it just hits the net, but it sails just onto the line. So we're onto a first serve still here. Medvedev cross court. Oh, and Chapo with another unforced error, the 4th of that game. Hits the net and he is broken. It is now 3-1 to It's 3-1 to the Octopus as they go into a exchange here. And what an excellent cross the body forehand hit by Medvedev. Just nestles onto the inside tram line to make it 15-love to himself as he aims to consolidate and to get it to 4-1. Long by Medvedev there, so we've gone to a second serve as certainly picks out that Medi has broken. Forehand across court, Medvedev at control of the net, goes for the forehand lob. Oh, and Shapo ends up winning that point because in a backhand return to Medvedev, it clips the net and it just sails over where Medvedev believes the ball was going to land. Left flailing like an octopus, funny enough. Left flailing like an octopus. So it's 15-15. 15-15 here. Cross court by Medvedev. Up the court. Shapo's on the run and hits another unforced error. I think it was it Manaris who brought up about the fact of the unforced errors not being present in the match. I've forgotten. I'm trying to see who it was that said that in the chat. But that has started to go away from Shapo. The unforced errors are back. And another unforced error by Shapovalov, hitting the net on a simple cross-court forehand. He is not playing at all well. This first set, Shapovalov is not at play here in the second. Cross-court by Medvedev. Shapo hits with a chipped forehand, and Medvedev is the next person to actually play the unforced error as a forehand cross court hits the net on the way there. Remember, make sure you hit a like on this video. We've got a very intriguing match here. This second set is nothing like the first. Cross court by Medvedev, perfect by there, but it is slightly long. So we are at a second serve. Shapovalov, of course, will be looking to get back into this point, back into this set. Forehand by Shapo, who's in control of the point at the moment. Cross swing by Medvedev up the line. Cross court by Shapo. Cross court by Medvedev. Backhand down the line. Backhand across court by Medvedev. And it goes long. We are now at deuce. We are at deuce here in this match. Oh, Medvedev was all in control in this service game. 40-15 up. Not a trouble in the world. It looks as though 4-3 was only a formality. And he is now facing deuce. He's faced this before, though. He's managed to hit two strong first serves to get him out of any issues. Goes to the serve, goes out wide, and Shapo is able to get something onto it. Literally just get something onto it nice and deep. But Medvedev is in control of the point. Shapovalov was running from one side to another, and then another unforced error by Shapovalov. Another unforced error, a backhand into the net. It should have been a simple shot. These unforced errors by Shapovalov are building up in this second set. They're building up a lot. Medvedev with the serve, down the tee. I thought it kissed the line. It just about missed. So we've got a second serve here as Medvedev has advantage. And it's a double fault. It's a double fault. It clips the net and it falls back the wrong side. We're now back at 40-40. You could not script this match. You certainly could not script this match. Down the line by Shapo. Cross court by Shapo. Forehand up the line by Medvedev. Both players have neutralized the point, and Medvedev hits it long. Shapovalov has a break point. Advantage Medvedev. Advantage Shapovalov. Shapovalov has break point here to break back. In the second set, he is not done. He is not determined to allow Medvedev to run away with this. Cross court by Medvedev, and Shapovalov is unable to get much onto it, and it hits the net. So we're back to deuce. What we're saying in the comments. Certainly an interesting one. This is nuts. This is utterly nuts. Just when you thought I was a good person in Man United shirt. Sorry about that, cross court. Up line by Medvedev. Medvedev hits it wide. Another break point. Shapovalov has another break point. Will he be able to capitalize this time? 44 likes so far. Correct, Gary. Let's get up. I want to get to 100 if at all possible. We've got 132 in the live thing watching, which is fantastic. Cross court by Medvedev, similar to the same one. Shapo's able to get something onto it, but Medvedev runs to the net and is able to cross court forehand it away for the point. So we're back to deuce. I think it's now the fourth deuce that we've had in this service game. Medvedev is not going to be able to pick this up in an easy manner. If anyone as well is also keeping an eye on the other Canadian as he's just about started, that would be fantastic in the chat below as Medvedev hits it wide on his first serve. However, again by Medvedev, Shapo's able to get a good return onto it. Shapo's in control of the point. Medvedev is left flailing. Forehand by Shapo, and Medvedev hits the net. He goes for a beyond the tram line, forehand up the line winner, and it hits the net. A meager attempt, a low percentage shot, and a low percentage and a high percentage possibility takes place. This game will not end. You are correct, guys. This game will certainly not end. I'm sure we're all loving it because of it. Other line by Medvedev. Shapo goes for a across the court winner. Medvedev is left flailing. Backhand to backhand exchange. At the baseline, up the line by Medvedev. Shapo's able to get to it, and he hits it long. Shapo on the attempt to keep the ball in action. He hits it long. We're now again at 40-40. We're again at 40-40 here. Just to update you, Lorenzo Sonego actually ended up beating Talon Grigspor. So we've got 2 matches left for the Paris qualifying, for the last 2 qualifying slots. We've got Vladikachu and Mukaraton Mutet taken to the court, and Yulia Leclerc and Mikhail Yilmaz deep in the first set at the moment. Medvedev, strong service point there. Shapovalov, though, hits an excellent forehand winner. The 5th, I believe this is the 5th or the 6th. I believe this is the 5th break point of this service game. Shapo is not going away. He is not going away. Fourth break point. Cross court by Medvedev. Up the line by Medvedev again. Shapo is just running from place to place, coast to coast. Forehand and backhand exchange. Shapo is really hanging into this. The points to be neutralised. Shapo's got some control. Got a bit of a backhand to backhand exchange. And Shapo hits it long again, just like the previous point. Just like the previous point. The previous break point that Shapovalov had, he hits it long. Guys are saying the first 3 games of the Felix Room match finished, and the game is yet to finish. And this game is yet to finish. That just shows how long they've been going here. I wonder what's going to come first, the end of that match, the end of this, or possibly even the end of the green flag at the Mexican Grand Prix. Medvedev down the tee. Shapo is left flailing. Medvedev goes to the backhand. So we've got a bit of a backhand to backhand exchange. Shapo has some control over this point. Medvedev goes up the line. Shapo goes across court. Medvedev backhand across the line. Cross again. Shapo's really trying. Medvedev is sticking in there. And Shapo hits it long. Shapo hits it long. We announced at advantage Medvedev. We've not had this for a while. Advantage Medvedev. Game point for Daniil Medvedev. Game point for Medvedev. We've got a love heart on one of the things I can see at the top. That's fantastic. Remember, make sure you like, especially given this how tight this service game for Medvedev is. Just looking out my window, it looks like it's going to start to rain, which is a big shame. So Medvedev, and Medvedev, the professional that he is, out wide. Shapo's unable to get much onto it, and it sails into the net. So we're now sitting at 4-1 to Daniil Medvedev, and he has. I'll also give us a Medvedev button because of how strong that finish ended up being. Yes, so Maris and Peter kind of sum up our emotions there. That was a very stressful game. Shapovalov looks kerfuddled. It's probably a good word to use. He did not expect to lose that. He had four break points, 4 in that match, and he didn't convert none of them. Four points. 4 games. 4 games or four. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I am that worn out from that set. Also from that service point. We'll just compose ourselves down here. Possibly even try and nick one of those Red Bulls through our screen from that little Red Bull box. And I've just let us know that Felix Auger-Aliassime is an early break up against Holger Rune. For any of my, I'm just trying to also keep an eye out on bits that are taking place on the lower rungs of the system. We've got a big event in the UK, a W100 in Shrewsbury, where a lot of British players are doing well. It seems, at least in an attempt to try and qualify. But this is part of a general point to all international viewers. All viewers that global viewers, not international viewers. Sorry, you can get yourself involved as much as possible in going to local tournaments at lower rungs to support the tennis that you see there, because you could see the stars of tomorrow, playing their trade on what looks like generic courts that you could see at your local club. Shapovalov has got the first point quite strongly in his service game. Goes to his first serve, out wide again by Shapo. Medvedev is able to, Medvedev, what should have been just a simple backhand down the line. He goes cross court and he unable to get it over the net. Peter's going Shrewsbury. It's probably the first time you may have heard of Shrewsbury. It's a sizable town on the border of Wales. Good forehand by Medvedev, but 30 love for Shapo at the moment. Cross court by Shapo. Medvedev gets a good forehand onto it. Up the line by Shapo. Medvedev is left flailing. And wow. Okay, just hits the net, bobbles over, but Shapovalov could have been left befuddled by that. Doesn't know, and gets the 40 love, and we could be close to our first. Peter says, depends on which side of the river. Of course, it does depend on which side of the river. It is literally on that border. We could get our first game to love for a while. Let's see what happens with Shapovalov. First serve just goes wide. Backhand on line by Medvedev, and it goes long. So Shapovalov gets a point, gets the game there. A very easy hold in the end by Denis Shapovalov as he's changing his rackets, as we obviously are going towards new balls here. Yeah, because we played 8, 12, 14 games. Yep, so we've got new balls here. Third set of balls we had in circulation in this match. Medvedev hits the net. Shapo gets a really weak return. Medvedev runs to the net. Shapovalov He forces Shapovalov into a low percentage winner across court. And Shapo is unable to get it over the net. Medvedev is doing his best to stay as the aggressor. Down the line, Shapo flails on that return. Medvedev cross court. Backhand just flies wide though by Medvedev. The mistakes are coming off the Medvedev racket. The mistakes are coming off that Medvedev racket. He doesn't sort them out. That could start to cause him dear. He did in the last service games. He hits the net on his first serve there as he tries to go down the tee. Got with a backhand to backhand exchange taking place. Forehand by Shapo. Backhand by Medvedev. Forehand by Shapo. Backhand by Medvedev. Backhand by Shapo. Forehand by Medvedev. Forehand by Shapo, and it hits it for a winner. Oh, as straight as an arrow, or at least a arrow precision when it came to that outside of the body forehand winner cross court to make it 30-15 to Denis Shapovalov. The ebbs and the flows in this match are astounding. Medvedev down the tee, and Shapovalov is only able to sail it into the net. Shapo is only able to sail it into the net. So we're sitting at 30-30. Manners is saying, come on, Shapo, break now. Or come on, Shapo, break now. Medvedev tries to go down the tee, hits the net. We're now down to a second serve. The second serve points won by Medvedev is still quite low. Oh, and he goes for, and he absolutely pins it like a first serve down the tee. You can't do it the first time around. Do it the second. 40-30 has game point to make it 5-2. When cross court, hit the net, so it's a first serve again. Just we've got a let cord just taking place there. And if you make sure we could like the video, that'd be fantastic. Make sure you hit that like button. Tries to go out wide again, hits the ends up hitting the net. Will he do what he did in the previous point and just absolutely bang it? Nearly. Shapo gets something onto it. Oh, Medvedev, they're flailing. Both players are really flailing, and Medvedev hits the net. So we go to deuce. Are we going to get a repeat of the 5 or 6 deuces that took place in the previous Medvedev service game? Because we're now sitting at 40-40. We're now sitting at 40-40. Backhand by Medvedev. Oh, wow. Okay, so Medvedev ends up hitting it long. Shapovalov has break point. Shapovalov has break point. Medvedev hits it long, and Shapovalov has to basically let it nutmeg him. Down the tee, Shapo's able to get something onto it, but it was just long. So we're at a second serve. Shapo's able to get something onto it. Medvedev hits it with some force. Hits it with some force across court again. Cross court by Shapo. Down the line by Medvedev. Shapo's able to get something onto it. Cross court by Medvedev. Shapo cross court. Down the line by Medvedev. And he hits it long. Shapovalov has broken back. Shapovalov has broken back. Broken back Shapo. And we'll serenade that with Shapovalov is back in this match. He has got the break back. Medvedev still leads 4-3. But there are no breaks of serve now in play. They are now on serve, both of these two players. Shapo is incredibly pleased with that. Again, a game filled with mistakes, especially at the end of that service game from Daniil. Mistakes he should not have been making. This is really tight. This is unbelievably tight. We're one game away from also potentially, if Shapo wins, is getting to the business end of this set. A button I've not had a chance to press yet. Shapo drinks some sort of black currant S juice. And he wants more. He's tapping to his bottle and pointing to his team, saying that I need more of this. I need more of this blackberry, blackcurrant type juice. Yeah, really. He's really animated about that. As Daniil is guzzling down some disgusting looking substance from a very small bottle. Just make sure, mate, it's not full of Roxy Dust. That anyone gets that reference, that'd be quite great. That'd be quite funny. So as we're about to hit an hour and a half on the clock, Shapovalov is serving to level the set, or will Medvedev break back to look to serve this set out? Shapo hits the net on his first point. On his first serve. Down the tee, up the line by Medvedev. We've got a bit of an exchange at the back of the court. Shapo's in control. Shapo's the conductor. Oh, pushes it slightly. We've got some pushing taking place here, and Shapo hits it long. Shapo hits it long. Dan is saying that 30 winners in 17 games is staggering. It certainly is. Couldn't agree with you more there. Winning machine. A bit of breathing there by Shapovalov. Cross court by Shapo. Cross court again by Shapo. Backhand by Medvedev. Medvedev just making sure that the ball's returned deep. Not giving Shapo an inch. Really playing defensive tennis here. Up the line by Medvedev. Forces Shapo to try and hit a winner. Medvedev's able to retrieve it. Shapo with the backhand. Medvedev up the line for the winner. Shapo's left flailing, and he hits it long. Shapo hits it long. Medvedev 30 love. 30 love up. Great start for Medvedev here, trying to recover back the break that he lost. 30 love here by Daniil. See what happens in the next point. So, Shapo down the team. Medvedev able to get a good return. Shapo goes for the return. Oh, and geez, right. And the Medvedev, the low percentage winner, he made. Shapo pushes it, runs to the net, pushes the ball to the other side of the court. Medvedev runs to it, gets a backhand onto it, cross court, past Shapo, nothing he could do. And we are sitting at 3 break points. 3 break points here. What will Shapovalov do? He needs to break. He cannot let Medvedev back in. Shapo goes for the winner, coming to the net. Medvedev goes across court, and Shapo gets something on it, but he ends up hitting it into the chairs that they sit in. We have a situation where we have another. We have another break as the one and only. Medvedev is 5-3 up, and he's already. I didn't expect the button to take that long, or didn't expect the players to be that quick. As Medvedev takes the first point, 15 love. He's looking to get it done now. He's done hanging around. He's done hanging around here in Vienna. Shapo gets a good return on that one there. We've just got a tad bit of an issue here. So I'll just get the match back. Right, well, it's time for my little router to disconnect. Luckily not from the actual this bit here, but that's another matter. So we're sitting at 30-15 to Medvedev. 30-15 to Medvedev. 2 more points. Other line. Shapo's able to get something onto it, but Medvedev is in control. But Shapo hits a brilliant down the line forehand. Shapo goes for the lob and gets the point. We're now at 30-30. Both players are just not going away. Both players are not going away here. You see the determination in Shapo's eyes. Up the line by MEDVEDEV. Perfect. Ace. What a great time to have your ace. So he brings up set point. He brings up set point here. Are we going to go to a decider? Are we going to go to a decider? Set point for MEDVEDEV. Up the line. Shapo gets something onto it. MEDVEDEV runs forward. Cross court by MEDVEDEV. And Shapo cannot get anything onto it. And Daniil MEDVEDEV takes the second set. 6-3. We are going the distance here, ladies and gentlemen, in Vienna. MEDVEDEV is able to get 2 breaks in that set to Shapovalov's 1. And as we can see, the unforced errors by MEDVEDEV maybe slightly higher at 9, but he has been much more consistent throughout. And Shapovalov only 13 winners, not the 21 from the previous game, and 11 unforced errors. 7 winners to MEDVEDEV, so still fairly low, but he's playing a very consistent brand of tennis. We are going to a third set, which is remarkable. Please, we need to let me know, who do you think will win this set? Who do you think will win the final set and pick up the title here in Vienna? Who is going to pick up the title here in Vienna? Please do put in the comments below who you believe will end up winning the title. At the moment, I will still stand by my original prediction at the start of the podcast, start of the live stream, where I believe it will be MEDVEDEV who will end up picking this up. Yes, granted, I said MEDVEDEV in straights. That, of course, will not happen now, but I still think MEDVEDEV will end up winning it. Ives is saying 7-5. It could be that close. I agree with how both players are playing, how both players are returning, very, very importantly, and the frailties on their service games. 7-5 could be a very realistic storyline. Message for the boys: having no lyrics within Medi's jingle is not good enough. I'm sure that'll get passed on to the boys. Ives is also letting us know that Berrettini has withdrawn from Paris. Big news. Berrettini, who was one of the top 16 players or top 16 seeds, has withdrawn from the Paris Masters. That is a big blow. Big blow for the tournament. I know he was due to possibly play play Carlos Alcaraz in the third round. They'll have to do some rearranging of the draws if they've got enough time to get that sorted. I'm just scrolling through my Twitter. Yeah, just to say, so Kachanov ends up moving to be in a seeded spot in Alcaraz's section. But Baez now will play a qualifier or a lucky loser. Terrible time of the year for Berrettini to get so many injuries. But not then. Thanks, man. And lyrics, Medi in 4. Mark is saying Medi in 4, but good prediction there. You think Medi in 4? And Ives is letting us know that FAA is up 5-3 in the first set. That is very good to keep an eye off there. Just scrolling through here to see if we've got any more updates from Paris, because we should also be looking to get our first order of play, which I'm hoping that we can possibly announce here on the live stream. If not, the boys, as has been put by Mark, will go through the order of play later on this evening. As Mikael Yilmaz has won the first set against Julia Leclerc. It's 7-6, 8-6 in the tiebreaker, as it's 2-2 at the moment between Barkanyu, and Coraton Mutet. As Ives is telling us that there is 3 set points for FAA. Good to know. So we'll just cancel those bits there, as we've now got an idea there. And we know that in Basel, it is now 6-3 to Auger Aliassime has won the first set, 6-3. As I think I've said, as Raj is asking who will win, I certainly think the Medvedev will do this. I do think Medvedev will do this. They're all just getting themselves prepped and prepared. This is unbelievably exciting, especially for the audience here in Vienna. It's always a lottery, especially best of 3 sets. If you're a fan in these stadiums, I know myself when I went to the Antwerp match, the Antwerp final last week, that it was a straight sets win for Felix Auger-Aliassime in less than an hour and 20, I believe the time was as the match was ended. Which if you're a fan, you pay a lot for a final ticket. You do at least hope that unless you're backing one of the players strongly, that you're going to get a good competitive contest, which may go the distance. I've just seen shots of Shapovalov coming out of the players' lounge with a very anxious-looking medic, by the looks of it, on the sofas. Yeah, some support being shown to Shapovalov there, but yeah, you kind of expect there to be a tight match. You want there to be a tight match. You spend a lot of money on this ticket, and if the match finishes in an hour and 20, you're going to feel slightly cheated. So, as a fan in the stadium, and as if you're one of these supporters in the stadium who's bought a ticket, you go in the distance. This is probably going to go beyond 2 hours. You feel as though you're certainly going to get your money's worth. You're seeing ebbs and flows in the match, which is what you want to experience. And as fans, and we're watching at home, I mean, some of us, I know some of the American viewers, or North American and South American viewers in the chat here or watching live, you'll want, you're waking up very early in the morning. This will probably be the only tennis that you may see today. That you want it to be exciting. You want it to be competitive. You don't want it to be over in a short amount of time. Granted, of course, if you're watching this from the other side of the world in terms of your Australasias and Oceania area and the Far East of Asia, you probably want it to be a little bit quick just because you don't want to be staying up too late into the night. What we're saying in the chat, Peter, what do you mean by lyrics? And then Peter saying, that Ben needs to write lyrics for the Medvedev song. So Shapo going for the service motion here as we start the third set. Tries to go up the line, just goes slightly wide, so we've got a second serve here. Up line again, Medvedev gets a good return. Shapo goes for the cross court. Medvedev goes and fires it back at him. And then Shapovalov. So Medvedev goes for another body shot. Shapo is able to get something onto it, but he only fires it beyond to the wrong side of the tram line. So Shapo getting himself ready. Shapo getting himself ready here. Fires it over. Medvedev is unable to get anything much on the racket, and as such, it goes to 15-15. He seems to have a good discussion in the chat about lyrics and whatnot. But again, if you can try and get over 100 likes, that'd be absolutely fantastic. We've got around about 100 people watching in the chat, which is fantastic. Up the line by Shapovalov, much better serve from that side of the side this time around, as we now sit at 30-30. I will make sure I do. Is don't want to damage my waistcoat. Don't know why that's there. So yeah. So Medvedev just getting himself settled. Shapo with the serve, just fires it long as he attempts to go along the tee. So Shapo goes, hits the net, and as such, it's a break. It's a double fault. It's a double fault here. So we're now sitting at 30-30. I'm sure Medvedev would aim to want to get an early break. They'd want to get an early break here. Shapov hits the net as he attempts to go out wide. Please make sure you put in the comments below who you think is going to win this set. Good serve by both. Shapov's walking onto the ball a bit. Medvedev goes cross court. Shapovalov is able to at least volley it over with a forehand to make it 40-30. It came to the net. It was a low shot by Medvedev. It was beautifully fell over the net. And Shapov's just able to get his racket onto it to poke it over. As the ball goes and rolls away. So Shapov goes in the air, out wide. Medvedev's able to get a good return onto it. Shapov tries to go up line. Medvedev goes cross court. Shapov's left running. Medvedev cross court with his backhand. Forehand by Shapov. Backhand down the line by Medvedev. Cross court by Shapov. Cross court by Medvedev. Up the line by Shapov. Down the line by Medvedev. Down the line again by Medvedev. Shapov still left strangely. And Medvedev hits an unforced error and it goes into the net. It goes into the net. Shapov wins the first service game of this set. Wins the first service game, his service game. As with all those delays, we're currently sitting at 10 minutes for this first set already. As both players guzzle some water. I'm going to do the exact same. Bizarre, my local weather update. It's still got a dark cloud over us, but it hasn't started raining yet. I'm still slightly shocked about. Peter is saying it's anyone's match now. It certainly could feel that way. We've had so many ebbs and flows. We don't know who could walk away with the title. We've got a bit of exchange here. Medvedev. Forehand up the line by Medvedev, backhand by Shapov, forehand by Medvedev, cross court both of them, down the line by Shapov, cross court by Shapov. Shapov's got control of this point so far. Up the line by Medvedev, Shapov backhand down the line, Medvedev up the line again, back across court by Medvedev. God, this point will not end. Up the line by Medvedev, Shapov cross court, up cross court by Medvedev, cross court by Shapov, up the line, cross court again. Up the cross court by Medvedev, and he wins the point. He catches Shapov out. Shapov is running as though it's going to go up the line. It doesn't. It goes cross court. Lexi saying, James. Come on, Medi. It's certainly looking a lot better than it did at the end of the first set. As Corbin is saying, Australian Open, Djokovic, French Open, Nadal, Wimbledon, Djokovic, US Open, 2023 Grand Slam winners. You're very confident that Medvedev and Djokovic and Nadal are going to be the main winners next year. Get a bit of confidence to show. I still think that we'll get a sort of a new next gen winner of one of those 4 titles. As Medvedev hits the net on a service point there. Remember, make sure that you hit the like button if you haven't done so already. We know we're pushing 130 people watching, which is fantastic. Such a big match. Medvedev goes for a down-the-line serve with limited to no success. Cross-court by Medvedev, backhand by Shapov. Cross-court by Medvedev, cross-court by Shapov. And Medvedev hits the net. A unforced error. Oh, this definitely sparked a thing in the chat. I do not think Djokovic and Nadal will be winners of all the slams, says Ives. Counter-argument to Corbin's proposal. Peter saying if they let ND in, looks maybe. Novak Djokovic in, possibly. Rishi saying Medvedev is better mentally. And Ives is saying Alcaraz can win 1. I'll think about my predictions and I'll let you know a little bit later on. Up the line by Medvedev. Down, fun thing by Shapov. Shapov cross court, up the line by Medvedev cross court, both doing cross courts at the moment. Not looking to pull the trigger. As Shapov hits a unforced error, he fires it long. Could that error cost him? He was in that point. It's now 30-30. And Corbin is saying, it's my opinion, we all have different ones. Absolutely, Corbin. It's good it's a good thing to share who we think may end up winning. It's quite an important topic of who's going to pick up those last 4 those 4 Grand Slams in the year 2023. Richie's saying if it goes to the end of the set without a break at 4-4, I think Medi will pull it through as Shapo breaks down mentally. Interesting point. As Medvedev fires an excellent first serve to make it 40-30, looking to level it again, 1-1 in this third set. So just take on some water. Cross court by Medvedev. Cross court again. Shapovalov's left flailing, and Shapo only is able to return it long, and Medvedev takes the point. So we are 1-1. We are 1-1 here in the deciding set in Vienna. Medvedev's just giving himself a good wipe down with a towel. Liam saying, "Come on, Medibear." An unbelievably exciting match, as we know, is taking place at the moment. So Shapo goes down the line. Unfortunately, hits it just slightly long as we go to a second serve. Scoffed by JG. We've got some... Medvedev's in control of the point here. Oh no, but Shapo's managed to wrestle it back. This way and that. This point is like this match. Oh, and Shapo goes for the lob, and he lobs it wide. He lobs it wide. Crowd can't believe it. Neither can I. Goes for the lob, puts way too much spin onto it, and it fires long of the tram line. Long of the tram line. Small Cat is saying that Medvedev serve is the key now. $15 love here for Medvedev. He'll be looking to get an early break. Medvedev, good return. Shapo has control of the point, and he has faced another unforced error. Another unforced error by Shapovalov. We are now sitting at 30 love to Medvedev. 30 love to Medvedev. Are we starting to see more unforced errors from the Shapovalov serve as he ends up air striking the ground? Didn't catch his racket, but it's a sign of frustration. Medvedev is wearing into Denis. Cross court by Medvedev, up the line. Oh, okay, so it was just wide from the first serve by Shapo. Shame because Medvedev got a good return onto that one. Cross court, Medvedev up. Medvedev was a strong one there, able to take control of the point. He's still in control of the point, and Shapo, another unforced error, fires it into the net. 3 break points. 3 break points for Denis Shapovalov. Oh, sorry, for Daniil Medvedev. I need to make sure I get the names right. Too many V's at the end. As we see a couple more comments, he never wanted a deciding set against Karatsev in his match in Mallorca. Corbin, personally, I love your opinions. Thank you for saying that, Gary. As we go to a second serve here. Are we going to get a break? Are we going to get a break here? We are, because we get a double fault by Shapovalov. So we get a... And not only was it just a break, it was also a... One of the strongest breaks we could have seen at the beginning of the first set took place there. Medvedev stayed solid, stayed reliable, fired the ball deep, made limited mistakes, and let Shapovalov do the rest when it comes to those errors. We're now sitting at 2-1 to Medvedev. Is the match over from here? Possibly could be. Certainly possibly could be. Or will Shapovalov find a way of coming back into this? He did at points in that second set. He did find a way back into this match. But that lob at 15 love, that lob that Denis put way too much spin onto, that fired long beyond the baseline. Will he look back on that as a key issue or a key driver of the issues that took the reason why he lost this service game? Is he's shouting at his box with all the might in his body. Denis is just showing us Medvedev, just making sure he's wiping himself clean, making sure that he's got no sweat dripping down him. This is we've got Slako Markovic saying that Djokovic is the best. We got a big Djokovic fan in the chat. Just a score update from Basel. They're currently sitting at 1-1 in the second set. Of course, FAA has won the third set. Stern look here by Medvedev as he looks to deliver his first serve. He ends up hitting the net. Probably not the start he would have wanted. Backhand by Shapov, forehand by Medvedev. We got with a baseline exchange as Medvedev fires it deep and Shapov can't get the control onto it and ends up flailing it wide. 15-love to Daniil Medvedev. 15-love to Daniil Medvedev. Medvedev hits the net there. Shapov able to get something onto it. Good deep return by Shapov, running to the net. Medvedev able to go down the line. Shapov, though, is able to get hold of it. Cross court, just caresses it. The hands on that. To caress it over the net to make it 15-15. Jimmy's saying that Novak is class as well. We've got a lot of Novak love in the chat here. Deep by Medvedev. Tries to out-trick Shapov. He's not falling for it. Cross court by Medvedev. Shapov up the line. Just fires it live, though. An unforced error. An unforced error here by Shapov means that Medvedev is at 30-15. He is looking for that consolidation. He's looking to consolidate here. So Medvedev ends up hitting the net as he tries to win the volley there. Also hitting that as he tries to do the first serve. Go, score. Medvedev. And Shapov just gets his racket onto it, but fires it long again. 40-15. Sitting at 40-15. Please do put your comments in below if you've got any questions, any tennis questions, or any comments you want to make about that match. Please do put them in the comments below. Like I said, if you could hit the like button, that'd be excellent as well. Medvedev looks to go across court, ends up burying it in the net. Cross court again. Medvedev has got some control of his point. Shapov with a forehand up the line that fires wide of the tram line. So we get a we've got a situation where Medvedev has consolidated. It is 3-1 to Daniil Medvedev. 3-1 to Daniil Medvedev. How this match has changed around since the end of that first set. Gary saying, wow, nice to see all these Djokovic fans coming out of the woodwork. And Jimmy making mention of the fact that Medvedev is 3-1 up. As Shapov aims to get the first serve, ends up firing wide. Now, Medvedev will want to get a second break here. Medvedev cross court. He catches Shapov out. What a point. Shapov runs forward, tries to push Medvedev out wide. Medvedev gets his forehand coupled around that ball and fires it cross court on the most acutest of angles, way past Shapov, who's left flailing. There's somebody with leaflets trying to get about to put something through my door. So Shapov cross court, too long. I think somebody said that Shapov may implode here. This could be the start if he ends up losing this service game. Strong by Medvedev, cross court by Shapov. Medvedev gets the ball. And it lands in. He's looking for the support from the fans. Again, another outstanding shot. He ends up looping the ball over Shapov from what felt like miles outside the tram lines. And it just kisses the line at the right moment. Shapo is in absolute dismay. Absolute dismay. Shapo is just doing his best to keep the ball in court here. Medvedev is playing so strong, so deep. Moving Shapo this way or that. Down the line. Shapo goes up the line. Cross court by Medi. Cross court by Shapo. Medi goes down the line, and it's another down the line outside of the tram line winner. Oh, another one. Another one from the same position, scoring an absolutely outstanding volley, outstanding winner. Oh, my days. Those that are watching along with me, can you believe this? Can you absolutely believe this? Cadence to the fans. This is what you want. This is what you want, entertainment. Shapo tries to do a down the tee one as he's now facing 4 break points. No success. Medvedev, good, strong with Cern. Shapovalov across the line. Medvedev. Oh. Cross court Medi. Sliced by Shapo. Sliced by Medi. Sliced by Shapo. Medi down the line tries to do the same thing. Medvedev, Shapo's not having it this time. Strong by Medvedev. Strong by Shapo. Down the line by Medvedev. Shapovalov tries to go cross court. He does as well. Medvedev cross court. Shapo cross court. Medi get something onto it. Oh, and with that long point, Shapo runs forward, and unfortunately this time for Medvedev fans, he doesn't do it as the clock ticks to 2 hours. The top clock has ticked to 2 hours. What's we're saying in the comments here? This is what Novak would do, Colin. I'm not sure if you knew to yourself, but Gene and I are the co-captains of the Novak bandwagon here. Please stay and duration. And Peter, happy to know about that. Good to know. Also, that's me have keep an eye out. So sitting at 40-15, still 2 break points here for Medvedev. Shapo goes down the line. No luck though with that shot. Goes long. Second serve here. Medvedev strong with Cern. Shapo's trying to run onto it. Medvedev is keeping him at arm's length. Cross court. Shapo is left flailing. Medvedev down the line. Shapo goes across court and hits the net. So we are now got another. We have another break, and the only man in this who's showing us an absolute stardust power at the moment is. Yes, Medvedev has a second break and will look to console. He is now sitting at 4-1 here. He's looking to run away with it now. That's his aim. He's done playing. He's done, appeasing Shapo, it seems. He's looking to get it done and sorted. Shapovalov does not know what he can do, as we can see him celebrating. So we've got Gary saying, could there be an epic meeting between Medi and FA in Paris? There certainly could. Looking at the draw, they are due to meet in the quarterfinals. As JG said, let's please get it over to 100 likes. Yeah, Medvedev and FAA are currently will be on course to meet in the quarterfinals if they, of course, win their second and third round matches, which are is not always a guarantee. They have got some tough players in both their draws, which could cause some upsets. I know in Medvedev's side, he gets a bye to the first round. But he could play somebody like Arthur Rinderknech, Jack Draper, or Francis Tiafoe in the third round as a possibility. And I know there's some tough players as well in the Borja Aliassime section. They're always tough at the Paris Masters. Always tough at any Masters event. You've got only a 50-person draw, which means you're going to get the best of the best playing each other from the get-go. Corbin says, hope Novak will still be visiting your country soon. Who did you cheer for at Wimbledon? Got some good little conversation taking place there. Remember, please hit the like button. Medvedev goes out wide. Shapo is just able to get something onto it. Medvedev is able to, again, hit it cross court and just catch Shapo out. Catches him the wrong way and wins the first point there. Got everything there. Got a chat here taken on about. Thanks for the statement there, Carrie. I'll just put it up on screen. And Corbyn's saying, Peter saying, Corbyn, you're Mr. Government, got to see straight to admit no back to us. Well, we'll have to see what happens when it comes to that. Medvedev 30 love up, hits it a bit long there on his first serve. Are we going to get another consolidation? Cross court, Chapo gets a bit of a return onto it, up the line by Medvedev. Medvedev cross thing as well. Chapo just doing his best. And Chapo hits it long. We are at 40 love as Medvedev looks to make it 5-1. Guys, saying hit the like button, please. Please do make sure you do that. As Chapo is struggling there as we get a... Not only did we get a consolidation, we do get a game to love. It feels a little bit anticlimactic this set. It feels a little bit anticlimactic this set. We had two very tight sets in sets 1 and 2. But set 3, Medvedev has just put on the afterburners, kept his level high, and Chapo has just not been able to keep up. So we've got Chapo serving here, hoping to at least not make sure he gets breadsticked in the final set. Down the tee, fortunately a little bit long there by SHAPOVALOV. Medvedev up the line, but unfortunately SHAPOVALOV hits it long. Medvedev is already 15 love up. Will he do it? Will Medvedev get it done here in just over 2 hours? Across the thing, Medvedev up the line. Chapo tries to go across court. Medvedev is able to get a good bit on the ball, uncontrolled the point. Chapo's left flailing. Tries to go across court. Bit of a failure there by Medvedev, but Medvedev still in control. Other line by Medvedev. Cross court by Chapo. Cross court by both. Up line on the forehand. Medvedev goes for the shot. Oh, Medvedev drop shots it. He comes to the net. Chapo goes for the body serve. Medvedev is able just to get enough on it to get it over. We're now sitting at 30 love. 30 love here. One more point away from match point and, more importantly, championship point here in the Austrian capital. That is correct, isn't it? Yeah, Vienna is the capital of Austria. Cross court. No help there as Carlos Bernardes tries to catch the ball there and fails. Medvedev up the line. Chapo trying to have some control of the point. Medvedev is flailing but gets hold of that one. And Chapo is just able to hit a forehand winner. Is that too little, too late? Or are we or is this the start of a very unlikely comeback? Around the thing there. Medvedev up the line. Chapo goes for the hit. And it just goes wide. It just goes wide. So we have our first
match point.
At match point. Been an outstanding performance by Medvedev throughout this season. Throughout this tournament. Can he finish it off here? Chapo goes down the line. And he is able to keep it in. We are now down to another
match point.
Convert the first one. Can Medvedev convert the second? Convert the second championship point. Goes down the line. Medvedev was only able to get something onto it. Some really strong serves out the blue here by Chapo has taken us to 40-40. We are to wait for our next match point. Strong one by Denis. His first serves are now firing. Up line by Medi, and Chapo cannot do anything about it. We got another
match point.
X 177 people watching. Please make sure if you're new, you've just joined in, you hit that like button, you subscribe if you haven't done so already. Great content coming here on the GTL channel. So we've got Shapovalov hitting the net here. Different start. Will Medvedev, third match point here in Vienna. Out wide, Shapo oh no! Shapo hits it out wide and Medvedev ends up spraying it completely wide down the other side. He did not convert. No conversion at the moment. Down line by Shapo. Medvedev gets it up. Medvedev keeping in the point. Shapo is the conductor though. Medvedev up. Shapo across. Medvedev up the line and he hits it wide. We are to game point for Shapovalov now. We've had 3 championship points on the Shapovalov serve and no consolidation and no conversion. Cross court by Shapo. Medvedev able to get something onto it. Shapo then ends up hitting a forehand and wins the point. And just because he came back from saving 3 championship points there, we will click and play his button. Yes, we are. It is now 5-2. We've got Emotion James. Thanks, man. You're a great streaming commentator. Enjoy your commentary. Thank you for that, Mark. I'm glad that you've enjoyed this. Hope you've all enjoyed this. I know we're sitting at 173 people, which is fantastic. Hoping we may be able to get over 200, which would be excellent. Just as I use this opportunity, as we possibly are coming to the end of the match now, probably a little bit preempted to say, just because he's still got to serve it out when it comes to Medvedev. But a reminder that, of course, next week there'll be tons of Paris Masters content from this channel. Remember, the last Masters event of the year, before we hit the end of tour finals, which of course the WTA is taking place next week as well, and this channel will aim to cover that as well where possible. And of course, the Ben and JG will be doing their predictions show tonight to do once we've had all the qualifiers placed from today. They're just getting through the last couple of matches at the moment over in Paris, Bercy, or Bercy Village, as they sometimes like to be known. So we will we'll get you that out later on this evening for you to enjoy. So please make sure that you log on live to that stream when that stream does take place. So Medvedev now is walking out. Here. Peter saying yes, thanks everyone, and great job, James. We'll have to tell. Thank you for that, Peter. That's really great to see. I think saying later to see. Remember, the match is not over yet. We've still got a little bit longer to go. Medvedev goes to the first serve, goes in, pushing Shapovalov around, walks to the net. Shapovalov is still into this. Shapo ends up really actually causing some problems, but then Shapo, unforced error, hits it wide. Medvedev is now sitting at 15 love. Medvedev is sitting at 15 love here. Make sure I can find the Medvedev button, or the match point button if you need it. Down, strong body serve by Medvedev. Shapo is able to recover as he's pushing back Medvedev, and Shapo goes for the drop shot. And it's something which he stopped after the first set because it wasn't working. And what does it do? It doesn't work again. Cannot get the feel, cannot get the touch on the drop shot. Nestles into the middle part of the net, and he smashes the racket on the inside of his calf. 30 love. We're at 30 love here. Great Gene, who told don't know if it's announcing themselves this week. They certainly are. Starting announcing their intentions to win the last major tournament of the year. Medvedev, cross court. Nothing that Shapo can do, and we get
match point.
Get match point here for the championship in Vienna. What will Medvedev do? Down the line, Shapo is able to get something onto it. Medvedev down the line as well. Chapo up. Bit of a back exchange here. This has not gone well. And he is unable to do it. He was unable to do it there. What has happened to my PC? Do apologize for this, everyone. He's unable to convert. He is unable to convert. Back into it. Backhand to backhand exchange at the moment. Forehand by Medvedev. Backhand by Chapo. Forehand by Medvedev down the line. Chapo goes across court, playing everything in his match. Cross court by Medvedev. Chapo is playing absolutely fantastically here. Chapo not looking to give it up. And Medvedev hits it into the middle of the tram line. What looked like a easy hold. It's now got slightly more tense, slightly more difficult. Medvedev has not seen it out. He has had countless numbers of championship points, and we will just play that button one more because we've got that here.
Match point.
Match point here. Can he now do it? 40-30 for his second title of the season. Down the line, Chapo's able to get something onto it. Medvedev hits the net. We are now at deuce. We're at deuce here. We're at deuce. We've got a come on Medi here by Gene. And then followed quite closely by how we're all feeling, which is an oh no. Down the line by Medvedev. Strong. That's how he ends up dealing with the situation. We've now got another
match point.
I've been playing that button a lot recently, but the seventh championship point, as Medvedev fires it out wide. Chapo back the line. Medvedev along. Chapo up the line. Medvedev cross court. Cross court by Chapo. Cross court by Medvedev. Up court by Thingy. Medvedev down the line. Up the line by Chapo. Cross court by Medvedev. Cross court by Chapo. Down the line by Medvedev. Chapo's able to get something onto it. And then Medvedev goes for the drop shot. Chapo just about reaches it, but it hits the net. And Daniil Medvedev has won the Vienna ATP 500 title. It's taken 7 championship points to achieve, but he has done it. He is absolutely elated, going to the net, shaking hands. From what has been a mixed season, of course, missing out, literally being a set and close to 2 sets and close to a breakup against Rafael Nadal at the Australian Open, narrowly losing out on his second, on the chance of a second. Something like this, my voice. Narrowly losing out on a second Grand Slam title this season, having a little bit of a mixed or a subpar February and March campaign. Of course, the hernia operation and literally the only chance to play a couple of tournaments or one tournament before the start of the French. Being banned from Wimbledon. This hasn't been the season he would have wanted. He hasn't had that many opportunities, and when he has been at least fit, he's been passive at points, making too many mistakes. But it all looks as though it's coming good at the end, at least at this season, at least that chance to take something good away from this season. Like I said, he picked up that ATP Los Cabos title, that ATP 250 title in Los Cabos, beating Cameron Norrie in the final there. And now picking up his first 500 title this season, as Chapo looks distraught. He does look really upset, which is for the amount of effort he's put into this game is quite understandable. He's going over to his team. Just he's probably going to need a little bit of hug from them at this point here. But like I said, it's first. This is picking up Medvedev's first 500 title of the season. Place he's done relatively well at in the past here in Vienna. The indoor hard is especially a surface he does well at. if you, I will thank you, Gary, for saying another great stream, James. You are now in cruise control. I hope it comes across that way in terms of smoothness of these streams. Stats popping up there. You can clearly see that although Shapovalov scored the more winners, it was those unforced errors which were almost equaling the amount of winners he was hitting as such high amounts. It then leads on to the next question. This is, it's a huge title at ATP 500. It's an incredibly hard title to be able to pick up. There's only 13 of them throughout the season, and you only really have 7 chances throughout the year to be able to enter these tournaments because of a few of them had taken place in the same week. 250s, they tend to be a bit 10 a penny. As you could say, there's usually 9 chances to enter Masters tournaments throughout the year. But he'll feel pleased that he's picked up this title. He looks to go and defend his final points. For real, lifted or wished? We've got questions here. Thank you for the stream, James. Thank you, Gene. What we'll probably do here is we will call the stream to an end as some of you will want to go and watch the trophy celebrations. It's a lovely trophy they have here in Vienna. The design, as I'm informed from last year, is meant to be a racket head that's sort of like curved and shaped around the tennis ball, which is a brilliant design thing that they've got for this event. And like I said, all these players have now got their all eyes on Bercy Village in Paris, the Accor Arena, where they'll be looking to lift the last Masters title of the year. Some tough draws, some really good draws, all of which we will try to cover as much as possible here at GTL. So please join us for all those matches. I'm going to be quite privileged because on Friday I will be at the quarterfinals of the Paris Masters. So I'm so looking forward to seeing the likes of Medvedev, of possibly Felix Auger-Aliassime, who's doing very well in Basel at the moment. As we just got a list of the previous winners on the screen. This is the first time he's won the tournament, and of course, it's had some big names winning it. Zverev last year, Rublev the year before, Team, Murray's won it twice, Del Potro. But like I said, we'll end it here. Please join the stream later on this evening for the predictions for the Paris Masters, and make sure that you fill in your TNS brackets either now or you can wait for a couple of hours before the qualifiers have been placed into the draw, and make sure that if you're not already that you're part of the you're part of the Game to Love league on TNNS as well. Following that, I will say goodbye as I see the interviews take place there. Please, if you're watching live, that you enjoy the trophy ceremony. Or some of you may be switching over to Felix Auger-Aliassime versus Holger Rune match. But until then, see you later on.